Alright, so first of all, we're going to take a look at Newton's first law of motion. Now keep in mind, this is about objects staying at rest, and if an object is in motion, then it stays in motion. Now the particular demo that we're using deals with, of course, our Angry Birds, along with a boulder and some sort of stickman smiley face. Now, the boulder is going to stay at rest, and so is our little stickman smiley face, unless a force acts on it. Just like the bird will remain in motion until a force acts on it. Now, these objects at rest, we say that they are inert, meaning that they are not moving. Now this shows us that an object at rest will of course remain at rest, and that an object in motion will again stay in motion unless a force is applied. Now in this case, our bird will come in contact with the boulder. So the first bird is our object in motion. It's going to remain in motion until it hits another object, so a force is then applied. The second bird will remain at rest when it's on the ground, as will our boulder and our little stickman. Alright, so to get this level started, we can see that Newton's first law of motion is still active. We have some inert piggies. If a piggy is at rest, a piggy will in fact remain at rest. In this level, we can also see that Newton's third law of motion is active. When the bird comes in contact with the ground, he's going to in fact bounce off in the opposite direction. His momentum is conserved. He then bounces and transfers his momentum to not only one pig, which falls off the podium, but another, and then another. So we have a chain domino reaction as momentum is transferred from bird to piggy, to piggy, to piggy. Yes, I just said piggy 3 times in a row. It's awesome. Now, we can illustrate Newton's second law with Angry Birds too. Whenever we deal with Newton's second law, remember there's 2 parts. One part says that 2 objects that have different masses, if one has a greater mass, then it will accelerate less than an object with a smaller mass. The bigger it is, the more it takes for it to accelerate. Now, it also discusses the fact that if you have an object and you apply a small amount of mass, you'll get a small amount of force. And the greater amount of force you apply, the greater amount of acceleration. Now if we apply a small force with Angry Birds, we'll see we get a rolling bird. And if we apply a greater force by fully extending our slingshot, which is how we exert force in Angry Birds, we will get a nice clear bird projectile. Now that might not necessarily take out our pig, but a couple shots and that pig is as good as bacon. Yes, that is a corny joke. So now we're going to attempt to illustrate Newton's second law using 3 different birds. Now, we would assume that these birds had 3 different masses, since they are in fact 3 different birds of 3 different sizes. Well, let's find out. Let's launch the yellow bird and see what happens. Alright, so he goes up, he comes down, lands right after the second front. Shoot our red bird, he goes up, he comes down, looks about the same place. He lands around the same area the yellow bird did. Now the black bird, surely he weighs more, surely his mass is greater. No, actually he traveled about the same way at the same rate of acceleration. So, apparently, that part of Newton's law, where mass affects acceleration, doesn't apply. Weird.